Well, welcome to the full preview of the Victoria Cup meeting on Saturday night at Tabcorp Park, Melbourne. What a terrific evening it's going to be, Baker. We've got to find some winners. We're going to kick off, as you'd expect, with race one at a tick past 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. Really tricky little race to kick off the program. Interesting runner drawn inside the second line, Rocker Band. Which way have you gone?
Yeah, gone with her. 8 to beat 2, 1 and 3. She's a pretty classy Kiwi. I know she's drawn a little awkwardly over the sprint trip. Not sure how you saw it, but I thought she'd probably get off the inside at the start and be too good for them. Adam Cartwright's racing really well. He's been hitting the line in all good races. Shepparton Cup, Ballarat Cup. No reason he can't go close, even over the sprint trip, which probably doesn't suit him as well. Beach Boy Adios racing well. Needs a soft run potentially, but can finish off. And Ponder Girl, she's pretty smart at her best as well. I went 8, 2, 1 and 3.
Yeah, I generally don't think horses drawn inside the second line should get off over the 1720 metres, but in this occasion I'm with you. I think probably has to, because Beach Boy Adios has no chance of leading. I thought Roy George would get across to the front. My numbers are 3, 8, 1 and 6. Ponder Girl trialled really well recently. Most runs as preparation have been excellent, just hasn't had a lot of luck, but I think she's the one to beat, but Rocker Band's the clear danger. Nice way to kick off the program. Then we get busy. We get aggressive straight away. Yep. Race 2, first heat of the Victoria Derby. They have come from every harness racing jurisdiction in the Southern Hemisphere for this race. They're represented by Queensland to some extent, New South Wales, Victoria, WA. They're all there, plus the Victorians and the Kiwis. Jack's Legend for Barry Purdon, good friend of yours. What do you think here? He's going to be relatively short.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Drawn outside the front row in a heat of Victoria Derby. I'm happy to search for a bit of value, and I'll steal your thunder a little bit here. I think Rapper's Delight can be the hardest to beat. 10, 5, 7 and 6. Yep. He's been so good in his 2 wins this campaign. The form's all worked out around him. I know he's got the poor draw, but if they put a little bit of heat into it early, I see no reason that he can't be getting over the top of them. So he on top for me. Obviously, Airmain Macca is a really good quality 3-year-old from South Australia, improving all the time. And his last win at Shepparton, although it was a race run to suit in many ways, he was still really strong late after dropping the bit a little bit and then picking up again. So no reason he can't be right in the finish. Jack's Legend I respect highly, and he goes into your early quaddies and first fours and trifectas, and now Jimmy's the other one that I'd consider 10, 5, 7 and 6.
Yeah, we wanted to spread the net pretty wide here. You might need to get that pen at some stage, but look, you're going to have to spread the net pretty wide here in the first of the Victoria Derby heats. Not the strongest, but it's pretty deep. I'll go the Coward's way out because you have stolen my thunder. I think Rapper's Delight can win the whole shooting match potentially, but Jack's Legend looks well placed here. Has got some gate speed to offset the wide front line draw. 7, 10, 5 and 1. I threw in Airmain Macca. He was a little bit flattered by the fact that they burned that 26-second third quarter, the Defiant and Astride in that race, but he showed great courage to keep coming. And of course, Somewhere Secret's always been a horse I had an opinion of, I think, in that first preparation. Trialled pretty well recently, draw suits, so got to be somewhere in the mix for the early quarters. Third race is the first heat of the Rising Stars, Baker. I don't know where to look. You've sort of got to have a philosophy here about speed maps and all the rest if you want to try and find the winner. Which way have you gone?
8, 1, 2 and 11. I've probably thrown that out the window to some degree and just thought Class Runner, Magic Oats should be too good for them, but I can see the draw's pretty poor for him. It's not going to end well with Queen of Pop and potentially even Highview Christina, and there are a number of them, Crockett's Cullen, that can fly the start, but that may end up playing into Magic Oats' hand if they go really quickly early. I think he's the one that can get over the top of them late. He's racing well since he's come to Victoria. Looks like Heaven, she was super first up, she's drawn well. Queen of Pop, she's been an improver this preparation, and third up from a break, she'll be thereabouts, and also Tear It Up. Big odds, something at 50 to 1. We have to find something. I think he could run into third or fourth at Monster Odds. 8, 1, 2 and 11.
Yeah, 1, 8, 3 and 12 for me. Really tricky race. Looks like Evan was a super eye catcher, I thought, first up from a break. Should lob a good spot. 3 back the poles is obviously dangerous. Behind the lead is beautiful, so you've just got to assess your own speed maps and work out where you think it'll be. Magic Oats has been terrific in a couple of runs for Team Make, and Liz Tureen, I think, will be a big improver here. Spoke to Emma Stewart. Joseph Lister and all the rest. Better out and rolling than along the pegs. Looked disappointing. First up for the new camp, but I think much better suited here, particularly if it can bully its way to the front. Race 4 on the program, and it's another Victoria Derby heat. We've got a very, very short price favourite here. It's the popular elect for the series as a whole, Vincent. Tough draw, but still looks a class factor. Yeah,
I'd have to say so. 7, 4, 1 and 3. We have a colleague in our midst, Troy Anderson, who's a good eye for a horse, and he came back from Geelong last week and said that this horse looked like a pretty serious customer. So
I can tell you that off the computer screen, to be quite honest, but he does look a very special
big,
type.
thick neck, he said, as thick as he's seen on a horse of 3 years of age. So happy enough to say that Vincent is going to be too strong for them. You're probably playing for your multiples. Mr. Freeze is certainly one that you have to include. He's improved with every run, and he's going to peak here here, and Star of Sahara should improve from the first up run. Rock and Roll Icon is the most interesting runner maybe in all of the Derby heats, and he's one that I'd be considering. But look, it runs pretty deep outside of the top pick, 7, 4, 1 and 3.
Yeah, good luck to Josh Nelms and all the team behind Mr. Freeze. My numbers are 7, 3, 2 and 1. I've left it out. You might be happy with that, might not be. I thought Vincent was nearly immoral here, but really interested to see what Rock and Roll Icon can do. We were all flabbergasted by what it did on debut. Can it come back? The trials have been good. I'm excited to see what it can produce. Blue Moon Rising, we just don't know where he's at, but he's a very good horse at his best, and Star of Sahara was good enough, I thought, first up from a break to suggest that it'll be somewhere in the mix. The final Victoria Derby heat is arguably, when you count depth and strength, it's probably the best of them, even though Vincent's not there. I know you've got a really big opinion of one from New South Wales here, and you're keen that it can win the whole shooting match Astride.
Yep, that's true. I'm going to go with Astride on top because I'm really happy with the way he's come back. Look, his Breeders' Crown run last preparation was huge, so we'll go 4 to beat 2, 1 and 6. Look, as we outlined, that race at Shepparton, he didn't have too many favours and he was still very good, all things considered. I think he'll improve again. I'm happy to say that he's potentially the best horse in the series, so at genuine each-way odds, I'm happy to have him on top on Saturday night. Obviously, Jillaby Kung Fu has been so good all preparation. His 2 wins, he just got better. He was so arrogant last time, and he's always been top flight, so he's in the mix as a winning chance. Motu Meteor, and I think Beach Surge has a stack of ability. It's probably going to come too soon for him. He probably finds this series a little bit too early in his career, but I think he'll win his fair share. 4 to beat 2, 1 and 6 in race 5. 2, 5,
1 and 4 for me. There's a bloke in the media and communications team here at Harness Racing Victoria that's quite heavily invested, McCow, on Jillaby Kung Fu for the series as a whole, and I think he's very well placed. Quite jealous of him, actually, to be honest, with the odds that he's gotten. But Jillaby Kung Fu, I think, can win here. I'd like to see him lead and hold the lead. He's been really good off the pace in 2 runs as preparation, but he has got super gate speed too. And I'd like to see if he can use it.
Did he get lost a little bit in front as a 2-year-old?
I think that's why potentially they've come back this way. But at some stage, I think they're going to have to press a button. Why not do it in a heat rather than if you draw well in the final? That's my thinking anyway. But the draw suits him anyway. I thought that our little general is too short in tab markets, but he's a very talented horse, as we know. Breeders' Crown King. Motu Meteor can't be used up too much at the start. I've gone through the Kiwi replays. Gets shaky, very funky in its action when it has to be used up early. So the draw, if it ends up behind the leader, it's a massive winning hope, obviously, and Astride cleans up the only 4 I'd be having in the first leg of the quad, I would have thought. Second leg of the quad is the feature square gating event in the program, the Dullard Trotters Cup. We can either talk about this for 20 minutes or 2, and we're not going to get any closer to the solution, I would have thought. Really difficult race. Who's your tip?
I think we'll shoot for 2, 11, 2, 9 and 6. So probably wasn't even in my thinking early in the week quite a moment, but she's just come on in leaps and bounds. Probably unfair on her. She's been right at the top since day dot, really. She won a 3-year-old Breeders' Crown. She was so good in last year's. Beat Blitzen Calder, knocked him off. She was very good that day, and she was so good last year's Great Southern Star. So her form in New Zealand is spot on. She comes here ready to go. I know she's drawn second row, but no, I think she's probably the one that will be forgotten in the lead up to the race. So she's mine, but on Thunder Road, if he doesn't get double crossed early, then he's certainly racing well enough. He's the best of the Australians, you'd have to think, and outside of those, Cardigan Boko, I think he's probably another one that's going to be forgotten a little bit. Early money, maybe not, but late money suggests I think he will. He can be in the mix. The Boss Man, I don't know where it ends. They all, Keystone, Delamary time have been right there throughout their careers. Great things happen. You tell us, is he going to win? Well,
you don't get too many opportunities to field a leg of the quaddy in the Trots, but
this is it.
You could nearly go the field here. I'm going with great things happen. I can't add a lot to the conversation. As I say, I don't think we've got the solutions for you, but I'd prefer to be backing something at $12, $15 plus rather than going for one of the favourites here, and great things happen. I was just mesmerised with what it did on Monday night at Tabcorp Park Melton, so it's on top. It spread the net very wide for quads. The Pure Steel is the Vic Cup consolation, so to speak. Have faith in me. He's the fastest pacer in Southern Hemisphere history. You've got to take him on trust. Are you willing to?
Absolutely. 11, 9, 3 and 10. I don't claim to be a horse whisperer, but I can just envisage him scoring up with him, and if he does that, he didn't really have any problems apart from the score up last week, so no reason that he doesn't do that this week, and if he does, he's simply better than them based on what he did at Ballarat after missing the start by 100 yards. So clearly on top for me. I think Millie Perez is racing as well as she ever has, and there's no reason she can't run into the minor money. Maxi Man, if he finds the front, he's not a horse that wins by big margins, as we say often, but he'll certainly be thereabouts, batting on at the end. And Beresari, she was super first up in the Hamilton Cup, hitting the line, and she'll do so again. Pretty good race. Have faith in me. 11 to beat 9, 3 and 10.
Yeah, this is the best nearly exotic race of the day. I know that because we're having a agreed very much, and we're pretty much singing from the same hymn book here. Have Faith in Me should win.
Yep.
And the three key dangers, or the three key podium fillers, I guess, are the same. Maximan's trolled terrifically of recent times, looks a definite leader here for mine. And the two-gun mares, Millie Perez, I'll say she's not racing as well as ever, but better than ever at the moment. And Beresari's just all class and so versatile. So very similar numbers for me. We'll just quickly skim over the Victoria Cup, which we've already previewed. Your numbers?
For the first 4 players, 6, 9, 8 and 4, there's a big jackpot, 70,000 free money and then a 200 guarantee. So definitely get involved in the first 4. I reckon you could I'd probably play a little bit conservatively and have either Lazarus or Hector to win and then play wider from there.
You can play it a couple of ways. I'd play Lazarus 1 out.
Yeah.
Hector for second and Hector for third. I'd rove him for second or third probably. Okay. And then it's just include a couple of others. Bling It On and Cruz Bromack would be very high in my calculations, but we know there's support for Mac Doro and Tac Tate as well. So fill out.
Is there anything at 30 or 40 the one that you could see running into a place?
I am sort of mesmerised by the disrespect shown to Major Secret, really. I don't know what price he is right now. I think he's around 40 or 50 to 1, and to be honest,
I'll have All Black Stride to take you on head.
Okay. I don't mind that. Yeah. But Major Secret was low flying before failing last start. I'm willing to put a line through that performance. His form prior was just terrific. He's not going to get into a butte spot, but he's won Country Cups from the Bree, so he's a very, very good horse at his best. More than that, we'll talk about a price as we get off air, but I'd say 50 on that sounds nice to me. Race 9 on the program is the second of the 2 heats for the Rising Stars. I found one here, and I think you found one at a price. I think Nor West is the best on the program, but what can we back at a bit of value?
I'm going with Tui Dewar. I think if he turns up in his best form, he could well have him covered. I went 11, 3, 7, 1. Look, I'm not sure exactly where he's at right now, but I just think it's the sort of race where if everything falls into place for him, he could go around at sort of 15 to 1 and give them a bit of a shake. So for me, it's him, but I do respect Nor West. He should find the front early. If he does that, he's certainly going to take plenty of running down. Yarrington Bob's one I'm really interested in. He was given no hope last time. He was back on the inside, never found a way clear. If he does find some luck this time, then I do think he's an each way chance. And also Champagne Dream. She's misconsistent. She'll be thereabouts somewhere on the pace and can run a place 11, 3, 7 and 1.
It'd be great because we'll have a real sense of the pattern of the program by the time we get to this race. And I say this is potentially a very peg-dominated affair. They'll charge into the first turn, but if Nor West finds the front as I expect, I don't see a lot of mid-race pressure. So there you can have a situation where Nor West is leading. Champagne Dream's in good form behind. Leader was given no chance last time when Warfare collapsed on it. And 4X Dan, who's got form around Winga Tui Dewar in Tasmania, and I think Zach Phillips and Adam Kelly have got a fair opinion of this horse, will be 3 back to pole. So I think we can play some skinny exotics there, but Nor West 70 to 80% chance of finding the front, and if it does, I think it's the best bet on the card. We've come to the end of it here, Baker, of what's going to be a massive program on Saturday night, and it's the Empire Stallions Vicbred Platinum Trotting Mares Sprint Championship Final. Tricky race. I thought there would be 3 or 4 winning hopes. Have you got something in value again here?
Yeah, Girls Go First I think is a good each way bet. I went 8, 1, 11 and 4. She's going to rely on Verbier holding the lead. But even if she gets put 3 pegs, it's probably not the worst place in the world over that sprint trip. And she's going so well, Girls Go First. She took on a really strong race last time, but prior to that she put 2 wins together. She's underrated. I'm happy to have a good bet, or at least some sort of each way bet on her. Verbier, probably the class runner, drawn well. She was unlucky last time. Probably should have gone close to winning. Well, she did go close to winning. Probably should have won. Outside of those, Pipe Me Home's racing really well, and also JB Flex, the 2 informed horses. But look, tough enough race. So shooting for value 8 to beat 1, 11 and 4. You
stole my thunder a little bit there again with Girls Go First. I should mention before I get into this race, I don't mind Card and Merger at $12 a place in the previous as well either. So keep that in mind. With Nor West as the best on the card, I've gone my account to defeat Verbier. Both of them were eye-catching in their heat performances for this series, but Girls Go First, I think, is the overs, along with maybe Garlic Lass, who's got a fair bit of ability. Coming up on the screen right now will be your first 4 suggestion for the Victoria Cup, but give us just one bet on the program. I mean, you've gone on about Tac Tate Place for most of the day and night, and you've also said Astride as a chance for the series as a whole, but if you were just going to have one bet all night, hopefully we're going to have more, but what do you have?
I don't know. I'm keen to back Rapper's Delight each way in quite a moment each way as we get closer. So they're my 2 big odds that I'll have an each way bet on.
And have those 2 head-to-head battles with Tac Tate and also.
I'm not sure if you can all up them. I think you probably can multi them together and get sort of $4 about the pair.
One thing's for sure, we'll have a go at it. Thanks very much for joining us for this extensive Victoria Cup night preview, and as always, good luck and very good punting.